So then what is biodiversity?
As far as my interpretation is, biodiversity seems to be the balance of nature all around us, from the smallest to the largest species that you can think of.
But why is biodiversity so important?
It's probably something we don't talk about enough. We know a lot about climate change and how that's really going to affect us as people, but biodiversity is probably going to affect us quicker. So I think that's why it's important. We really need this delicate balance of the ecosystems around us. If we tip the balance of the population of bees, for example, that will have repercussions not only for the plants, but that means that insects, and that means that the birds, and that means, you know, so many other things down the line will have a massive impact if we lose our bee species. So I think that's why it's important that we really got to maintain this delicate balance.
Unfortunately, we are losing it, and we are in like a sixth mass extinction event. So what is driving this biodiversity loss in Ireland?
There's a number of key drivers. Climate change, as I've already mentioned, is a key driver of biodiversity loss. And you can see that very distinctly. I mean, the temperature is warmer than it would ordinarily be. So I'm sure there are birds who would ordinarily be going somewhere else sooner, but they're not now because they're a bit confused. So climate change is definitely one factor. Invasive species, another massive factor, and something that we're unfortunately seeing more and more of, I think, in Ireland now. Our land use and how we are using land in ways that isn't necessarily benefiting the ecosystems that would ordinarily be there. They're kind of the ones that I'm kind of thinking, right, well, they're probably stuff that we could tackle initially.
Biodiversity loss and the climate crisis, are they kind of the same issue? Are they different issues? How should we consider them?
They are totally different issues, and I'm learning this. Like, biodiversity is separate to climate change, as in we need to think about it separately because it has its own issues, it brings its own problems and its own set of solutions. However, it is intrinsically linked to climate change, and if we curb climate change, we'll also be curbing biodiversity loss, and vice versa in some ways as well. It's again something that we can all have an impact on. There's one quote I came across recently, which is from Paulo Freire, about, you know, if you live ethically, that's the foundation for radical social change. If individuals all make changes to how they live, that's how we get mass social movements.
Well, what can we do in our communities to kind of help this along?
I think, you know, going to places like the All Ireland Pollinator Plan, looking to community groups. The Tidy Towns groups are doing great things for biodiversity around the country at the moment. There's so many voluntary groups looking after rivers, peatlands, forests. Even if you're somebody who is just picking up the rubbish around you, I feel like that's sharing the respect for the land around you, and it's kind of letting other people know we can do this together. So I think anything that we can do individually ourselves is great, and the more we can do together collectively, I feel like peer pressure can be a positive thing in that regard.